In the dusty, forgotten town of nowhere, nestled amidst the barren plains, an eerie lullaby echoed through the night. Few dared venture into the town after dark, for the once happy community was said to have been cursed, transforming it into a shadowy, desolate place inhabited by a spectral presence. Decades ago, Nowhere was a bustling town with vibrant streets, lively markets, and a welcoming community. The heart of the town was the Grand Harmonia, a beautiful music hall where every night the townsfolk would gather to share stories, laughter, and songs. Among them was Lillian, a young woman with a voice as pure as Beyoncé who was known throughout the town for her enchanting lullaby. Her lullaby was said to possess the power to soothe any soul, offering comfort and tranquility to those who heard it. One fateful night, a terrible storm swept across the plains, bringing chaos and destruction. Amidst the chaos, Lillian was separated from her young son, and despite her desperate search, she could not find him. In her despair, she took to the stage of the Grand Harmonia for the last time and sang her lullaby, her sorrowful voice echoing through the storm, a call to her lost child. The next morning, the storm had passed, but the town was forever changed. Lillian was found on the stage with a knife in her throat. She cut her voice box out in her final moments while singing her lullaby. And so, the once lively town of Nowhere was transformed into a place of silence and shadows, where the only sound to break the oppressive silence was Lillian's mournful lullaby, echoing through the deserted streets. Over the years, many have dared to venture into the unknown, driven by curiosity or the thrill of the unknown. Women who had children would make sure their children were in the house before the sun went down, because the children who did not make it would go missing. As the sun would set, the spectral lullaby would start, a haunting melody carrying the sorrow of a mother's loss. They spoke of shadows shifting in strange chills, an overwhelming sense of grief, and a yearning to find something lost. The lullaby was said to draw children and adults in, luring them into a trance-like state, and when they awoke, they found themselves on the outskirts of nowhere with no memory of how they got there, but their child was nowhere to be found. Despite the chilling tales, a group of paranormal investigators decided to spend a night in Nowhere, hoping to capture evidence of the spectral lullaby. They set up their equipment in the remains of the Grand Harmonia and waited for nightfall. As the sun set, the lullaby began, its haunting notes filling the silence. The investigators were entranced, drawn in by the sorrowful melody, and then a chilling realization hit them: the lullaby wasn't just a song, it was a call. The investigators found themselves drawn one by one out into the pitch-black streets of the deserted city in response to the lullaby. When dawn broke, their bodies were found ripped apart and their voice boxes missing. To this day, the town of Nowhere remains abandoned, a haunting reminder of the sorrow that once befell its streets. The spectral lullaby continues to echo through the town, a mournful call to a child long lost. Those who dare to venture into Nowhere after dark speak of the overwhelming sense of loss and yearning, and the chilling lullaby that lulls them into a trance, only to wake on the outskirts of town, their memory of the night a blur. The lullaby of Nowhere continues to echo, a chilling tale of loss and longing, a spectral melody that has turned a once vibrant town into a desolate, haunted place.